Hello and welcome back to Rewiring Neurons. This is your own channel of personal progress and professional growth. And I am Dr. Anju Shukla and I specialize in emotional intelligence. I also work as a life coach and I'm an NLP practitioner and a coach apart from being a behavioral analyst. So, I welcome you all to this series of emotional intelligence. So now, when you say emotional intelligence, I hope everybody remembers that in the last video, we have covered some of the major myths related to emotional intelligence. After that, a lot of people have seen that video and have really appreciated and also have asked me to talk in detail about what is emotional intelligence. Because first of all, we have told what it is not. So definitely the next step is telling you what it is. So, emotional intelligence is something which I said is very common now. Everybody is talking about it. So, let's understand it in the most simplest form. So, you will see that if you try and Google out emotional intelligence, the one name which very clearly pops up is the name of Daniel Goleman. And you will be surprised to know that he is not the person who initially, coined the term or started using this term. He is a person who came later in the picture when this term was already existing, and the existence of this term was brought in by a Mayer and Solvay. And after 5 years of their research paper, Daniel Goleman wrote a book and started popularizing this concept with the permission of these two authors. So I will take up Daniel Goleman's concept only, and we will try and discuss it in the most simplest form which can be understood by each one of us. So he said that emotional intelligence consists of interpersonal intelligence and intrapersonal intelligence. Now when you say interpersonal, right, it means that emotional intelligence which exists between people. And when you say intrapersonal intelligence, it means intelligence which is within me, within myself. So these two are the broad categories of emotional intelligence. Now coming to the subcategories of these broad categories, which can be said that intrapersonal intelligence means the intelligence which I show towards myself, right? And this consists of self awareness, self regulation and motivation. So in today's this video we will just cover one concept which is known as self awareness. See, when you say the word self awareness, I'm sure everybody will be understanding it very obviously. Self awareness means being aware about yourself. Absolutely true. So just trying to take it forward and trying to make it even more easy, when you say self awareness means being aware about yourself, but what is that self, or what is that self awareness we are talking here? So emotional intelligence obviously means your self emotions you are aware. So are you aware that when you tend to get different types of emotions, for example emotion like an anger, emotion like irritation, or probably emotion like love, so all these emotions, when do you get it, right? And are you aware what is going to be your behavior when you tend to feel these emotions? This is in the simplest form, this is what emotional intelligence is. But taking it further, you can always say that a self of a person can be divided into two: internal self and external self. For example, if we say internal self, it simply means that what you are from inside, meaning thereby what are the types of self talk you do to yourself, what are your values, what are your beliefs, what are your fears, what are your anxieties, what is the thing which makes you confident, what are the things which make you fearful, what are the things which literally drive your behavior, what are the rules you follow. So all these things are within a person, and we tend to say that this is something which is the inner self of a person. And then on the opposite, we have got the outer self of a person. Outer self is something which is seen by the world, right? For example, the type of dressing sense you have, your physical appearance, your skills, your energy levels, your the impact you have on others, your non-verbal behavior, your personal style, of your managing, or and of your decision making, etc. So these are external self. So if I ask you to just sit down and ponder over what is your internal self, what is your external self, are you very clear about all the categories, or all the things which affect you internally, or all the things which is there on outside which affect other people? Do you have utmost clarity? If you say yes, so probably I can say your self awareness is a lot better than many people in this world. And taking it further, self awareness, if you want to just say a few components of self awareness, let me start by saying that the goals you have in your life, are you clear with the goals, right? And goals means your short term goals and your long term goals. Do you have a clarity on that? First, if yes, where you want to reach, very good. But again, if no, you need to find out, because that is one of the major components of self awareness. And if you know your short term and long term goals, self awareness is also that, are you aware how are you going to reach to your short term goals? What are the strategies you need? What are the skills you need? What are the people and the resources you need, right? As far as your goals are concerned, so do you have everything in mind? Again, so this is regarding the awareness you have as far as your goals are concerned. So one of the components of self awareness is, are you clear with your goals? Second, if you want to talk about, it can be the belief system which you have, right? What is the belief which you always carry with yourself, right? So about yourself, about others. So do you have a clarity on the belief system you have been endorsing? Next, we can say, do you have a clarity on the value system which you have always cared for? So basically the things which you hold very dear to yourself, in fact the things which you have been brought up with, the things which if get affected, you get affected. So are you clear with the value system which is very close to your heart? So next is the value system. Also the drivers in your life, what is the things which literally motivate you, right? Or probably demotivate you? Do you have a clarity on that? Because if you are clear with the drivers, anytime you feel low in your life, you can always remember them, you can always depend on them. Probably they will take you to places. So the drivers in your life literally help you to achieve your personal and your professional goals. Also, are you clear with the rules of your life? Meaning thereby, we have been brought up and raised in some type of family where we have followed some rules, right? Which we should do, which should not do, and that is something which has got into our conscious and subconscious mind, and we try and follow those rules. So do you have a clarity on what you should and what you should not do in your life? So that is again one of the self awareness parameters, if you want to call it as. Also, the most important is, if I ask you, whom do you talk the most during the day, right? And let me tell you, it cannot be a person, or a friend or a relative or whoever. It is basically you yourself. You tend to talk to yourself the whole day, whether you are consciously doing it or you are subconsciously doing it, but you always tend to talk to yourself. And when you talk to yourself, are you aware what type of talking do you do to yourself? Whether your talking is in a positive context or in a negative context. Do you ever have you ever given it a thought? If not, so please do give it a thought, because the type of talking you do to yourself plays a major impact on how you are literally rewiring your nerve cells and bringing an impact to your subconscious mind, because that literally keeps on working every time. That is something which motivates you or demotivates you. So please do check the type of self talk you have with yourself, all throughout the day, every day, 24/7. So when I say that self-awareness can be related to your goals, values, beliefs, self-talk, rules, etc., how are you going to become self-aware? See, let me tell you, as I said, you need to know what is your internal self and external self. You need to know how do you tend to talk to yourself. And to do all these things, you have to make few simple rules in your life. For example, you have to turn into your senses. When I say turning into your senses, everybody knows that we have got sense of seeing, hearing, touching, and everything. But we tend to ignore this, right? We at times tend to believe that, the person would have behaved like that, or the person would have said something like that. But we don't believe what he actually said. We always need to give it a thought, what is being said and not said, rather than we giving a thought the what should have been said and what should not have been said. So turning into your senses, what you hear, what you see, what you listen, this is very important sources of collection of information through which you can have a better understanding of yourself and your relations around. So you need to get into touch with the feelings you have inside you, because a lot of times we are doing something and we are not feeling right about it. Believe me, that is a self awareness which we have literally suppressed. So try to listen to your feelings. If you listen to your feelings, they are going to give you the exact idea of your consciousness and something which you may like and dislike. Also, as I've talked about the goals, right? Where do you want to reach, how do you want to reach, and who are the people who are going to be helpful in that journey of yours? That is again very much required to fulfill and become aware about your goals in the short term and long term. So these were the few things which you can do to become a little more self aware about yourself. So as we started off with, that emotional intelligence is all about knowing your emotions, and this is the very first thing: knowing your emotions and accepting the fact that yes, you have got these emotions, you need to take care of them in a better way. So self awareness is all something which starts from yourself, knowing your emotions, right, and knowing the reason why you're feeling in a particular way. So if you could just figure out that, probably we are going to become a better aware person, right, and forget about anything else and everybody else. You are going to become self aware, and self awareness is the very first step towards emotional intelligence. So thank you so much for listening to me, and we are going to meet in our next video. Till then, take care and stay blessed.